Understand you. God did not promise that life will go exactly how you planned. But God did promise something greater, that every test has meaning, every delay has wisdom, and every loss has a hidden gift. So today, we are not just changing a habit, we are changing a mindset, a lifestyle, a way of living. Expectations are invisible chains that we willingly put around our hearts. From the moment we wake up, we often carry a quiet, hidden list in our minds, expecting people to act a certain way, expecting life to follow a specific path, expecting moments to turn out exactly as we dreamed. We expect our friends to always be there when we need them, our colleagues to understand our struggles without explanation, our family to act the way we imagine they should, and the world itself to bend to our desires. And when these expectations are not met, something subtle but powerful happens. We hurt, not because of what others did or didn't do, but because of the stories we have created in our own minds about how life should be. This is hidden pain. It hides behind polite smiles, quiet frustrations, and the silent disappointments we carry like stones in our pockets. Think about it. How many times have you looked forward to a conversation only to feel unseen or unheard when it didn't go the way you imagined? Maybe you helped someone expecting gratitude or acknowledgement, and when it didn't come, you felt undervalued or invisible. Maybe you worked tirelessly on a project at your job, hoping for recognition only to see someone else take credit, and your heart sank not because of their actions, but because your expectations were unmet. Everyday life is filled with tiny moments like this, and each one builds layers of quiet pain that few can see. Expectations are sneaky because they often come disguised as hope or care. We tell ourselves, I just hope they notice, or I just wish they would understand me. But hope can quietly turn into resentment, and wishing can quietly turn into bitterness. The human mind loves to imagine the perfect outcome, that the people we love will act according to our desires, that our efforts will be rewarded exactly as we dreamed, that life will hand us fairness and justice on a silver plate. But reality has a way of disrupting these plans, often in ways we cannot control. And when expectations collide with reality, the result is pain, disappointment, and frustration that eats away at our joy. The problem is not the world, it is the expectation itself. Imagine holding a fragile glass in your hand. If you expect it to remain unbreakable at all times, your grip is tight, your tension high, and your fear of it shattering consumes you. But what if you simply held it carefully, appreciating its presence without demanding it remain perfect forever? You would still value it, still enjoy it, but the anxiety, the disappointment, and the hurt would decrease. That's the difference between expecting and accepting. Every day, we meet situations that challenge our expectations. A friend cancels plans without warning. A sibling forgets an important date. A co-worker overlooks your contribution. Even strangers can unknowingly disappoint us. And in each case, the pain is not entirely caused by their actions. The pain is caused by the story we told ourselves. They should care. They should remember. They should act differently. They should act differently. Expectations set invisible traps, and when life moves differently, we fall right into them. Hidden pain also quietly affects the way we see ourselves. When expectations fail, we sometimes think it is our fault. We feel unworthy, unimportant, or inadequate. We question why people don't meet our imagined standard of care, why life seems unfair, why we are somehow left behind. And slowly, this hidden pain accumulates, shaping our mood, our relationships, and even our dreams. It is a silent thief, stealing our happiness while we remain unaware. The truth is no, one can live entirely up to your expectations. Not your family, not your friends, not the world itself. People have their limits, their fears, their struggles, and their own invisible pain. Life has its twists, delays, and challenges that are beyond anyone's control. Expecting perfection from others is like planting a seed in winter and hoping for flowers overnight. The disappointment is inevitable because reality never perfectly matches the imagination. The key to freeing ourselves from this hidden pain is awareness and a shift in mindset.
The moment we recognize that expectations are the source of much of our hurt, we begin to release them.
Instead of demanding that life or people meet our imagined standards, we start noticing the gifts hidden in reality. When a friend forgets to call, we remember the times they have been there for us. When work goes unrecognized, we focus on the pride and skill we developed through effort. When life doesn't follow the script, we learn to embrace the lessons and opportunities it presents. Acceptance is not about giving up or being passive. It is about removing the unnecessary burden of expectation so that joy, peace, and gratitude can grow naturally. When we stop expecting, our hearts stop being trapped in the silent cycle of disappointment. We start seeing people and situations as they are, not as we imagined them to be. And in that clarity, the hidden pain fades. We begin to live fully, appreciating moments without strings attached, loving without silently demanding, and acting without silently waiting. Every day you have the chance to loosen the chains of expectation. Notice when your mind begins to script outcomes, pause, and choose acceptance instead. Notice when your heart tightens because someone didn't act as you hoped, and choose understanding instead. Notice when life unfolds differently from your plan, and find gratitude in the lessons, growth, and strength it brings. With this mindset, hidden pain loses its power. Different pain loses its power. India, you gain freedom, peace, and the ability to live fully in the present, trusting that God's design is greater than your imagined world. Expectations create hidden pain because they make happiness dependent on things outside of you. Acceptance creates freedom because it roots happiness within. The moment you stop expecting and start accepting, you stop carrying the weight of silent disappointment and start experiencing the beauty, depth, and richness of life exactly as it is. And that is a kind of strength that no one can take from you. A power that transforms ordinary days into extraordinary lessons, ordinary moments into lasting joy, and ordinary people into blessings you may not have noticed before. Acceptance is one of the most powerful tools a person can possess, yet it is also one of the most misunderstood. Many people hear the word acceptance and think it means giving up, settling for less, or letting life push you around. But true acceptance is the opposite. It is a choice, a conscious decision to embrace life as it is, not as you wish it would be. It is the bridge between frustration and freedom, between resistance and peace. When you accept what you cannot change, you free your heart from unnecessary suffering and open the door to a deeper connection with yourself, with life, and with the divine wisdom that guides the world. Think about your daily life. How often do you find yourself struggling against circumstances you cannot control? Perhaps a project at work didn't go as planned. Maybe someone said something hurtful that was beyond your influence. Perhaps a dream you have been nurturing for years hits an unexpected roadblock. In those moments, your mind races, replaying the events over and over, asking, why me or why now? You resist, you push, you fight, and all the while, your heart grows heavier. Resistance creates tension, frustration, and even despair. It is like swimming against a powerful current, the more you struggle, the more exhausted you become. Acceptance does not mean you stop caring or stop trying. It does not mean you ignore injustice, failure, or hardship. Instead, it is a shift in perspective. It is saying, I cannot control everything, but I can control my response. I may not understand the timing or reason right now, but I can trust that life has a purpose I may not yet see. This shift is subtle but transformative. The moment you begin to accept, the tension eases, the resistance fades. You begin to feel a sense of calm in the storm, a quiet strength that no external circumstance can shake. Consider the example of traffic, a simple, everyday situation. You are running late, and every red light, every delay, every slow-moving car seems designed to ruin your day. If you resist, your frustration builds. You honk, you stress, you tense up. Your heart pounds, and your energy drains before you even arrive at your destination. But what if you accept it? What if you say, this is where I am right now. I cannot speed up time or change the lights. I can, however, choose peace. Suddenly, the same traffic jam becomes bearable. You notice the world around you, take deep breaths, or even listen to music that lifts your spirit. Acceptance turns a source of stress into an opportunity for calm, for reflection, for growth.
Acceptance also applies to people. Sometimes the hardest aspect of life to embrace.
Friends, family, and colleagues will disappoint you at times, not out of malice, but because they are human, limited, and imperfect. When you resist this reality, you suffer silently, carrying resentment and frustration. But when you practice acceptance, you understand that people are doing their best according to their own understanding, struggles, and circumstances. You begin to see their actions with compassion rather than judgment. Your heart softens, and a sense of peace replaces anger. Acceptance allows relationships to breathe, to heal, and to grow stronger because it removes the burden of expectation and judgment that so often chokes them. Another powerful, imagine you are striving toward a goal, pouring your energy, time, and passion into it, and then something unexpected happens. A failure, a rejection, a delay. The first instinct is to resist, to fight, to demand that life be fair. But acceptance teaches a different approach. It says, I acknowledge the reality of this moment. I may not like it, I may even be disappointed, but I will not let it destroy my peace.
This does not make the setback less real, but it frees your mind and spirit to focus on solutions, on learning, and on the next step.
Acceptance transforms pain into clarity, frustration into growth, and challenges into lessons. Even in moments of loss, losing a job, a relationship, or an opportunity, acceptance becomes a lifeline. It allows you to grieve, to feel, and to heal without being trapped in anger, regret, or resentment. By accepting what has happened, you stop fighting reality and start engaging with it. You stop resisting the waves and start learning to ride them. You discover resilience you never knew you had. You see paths you never noticed before, and through this process, inner peace emerges, not as an absence of struggle, but as a presence of strength, clarity, and trust in the larger design of life. Acceptance also reconnects you with God's wisdom. When you release your insistence that life or people follow your plan, you make space for divine timing and guidance. You start to trust that what unfolds, even the setbacks, delays, and surprises, is part of a greater story that is unfolding perfectly, even if you cannot yet see the entire picture. This trust, rooted in acceptance, removes fear and doubt, replaces anxiety with calm, and transforms life from a battlefield into a journey filled with lessons, growth, and quiet joy. Acceptance brings inner peace because it removes the unnecessary weight of resistance. When you stop fighting reality, you stop creating additional suffering. You stop giving power to disappointment, frustration, and anger. You stop living in a constant state of should have or why me. Instead, you live fully in the present moment, appreciating what is, learning from what happens, and trusting in the unseen wisdom guiding your path.
Everyday life gives us endless opportunities to practice acceptance. It may be a slow-moving line.
At the store, a harsh comment from a stranger, a difficult day at work, or an unexpected setback in your plans. Each situation is a choice: resist and suffer, or accept and find peace. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Over time, acceptance transforms not just individual moments, but your entire approach to life. You become calmer, stronger, more compassionate, and more resilient. You discover that peace is not something you wait for, it is something you create from within, through the simple yet profound act of accepting life exactly as it is. One of the hardest lessons we learn in life is that people are limited. Not because they are bad, unkind, or unworthy, but because every human being carries boundaries, flaws, and limitations. We often expect others to be stronger than they are, wiser than they are, more compassionate than they are, or more reliable than they are capable of being. And when these expectations collide with reality, we feel disappointed, hurt, and sometimes even betrayed. But the truth is, no person can ever fulfill the role of perfection in your life. People can support you, love you, guide you, and inspire you. But their power has limits. Only God is unlimited. Only God is unlimited. Only God sees the bigger picture, knows the hidden truths, and holds the ultimate wisdom and timing. Understanding this distinction is one of the most freeing realizations you can have. Consider your everyday experiences. Perhaps a friend fails to call when you're feeling lonely. Perhaps a partner forgets an important promise, or a colleague doesn't recognize your effort. Perhaps your parents, siblings, or mentors disappoint you, not intentionally, but because they, too, have limitations. It is easy to feel frustration in these moments, to blame others, and to internalize the disappointment. We expect people to be our constant sources of support, happiness, and understanding. But when they fall short, we suffer. That suffering is entirely natural, yet it is also unnecessary if we recognize the truth. People are human, and humans have limits. Think about it like this. If you rely on someone else to be perfect, you are building your happiness on sand. Every expectation becomes a fragile structure that can collapse at any moment. Every word they don't say, every action they don't take, becomes a blow that shakes your world. But when you shift your focus from human limitations to God's unlimited presence, you move from instability to strength. You begin to see that while people may falter, life itself and the divine wisdom guiding it remains constant. God's love, timing, and understanding are limitless. Where humans fall short, the divine fills the gaps, guiding your path, supporting your journey, and opening doors you never imagined. Daily life provides countless reminders of this truth. Imagine relying entirely on a co-worker to complete a task perfectly. Even if they are skilled and dedicated, mistakes can happen. Stress, fatigue, or personal struggles can affect them in ways you cannot control. If your peace depends entirely on their performance, you are setting yourself up for frustration. But if you do your best and then trust the process, knowing that God's wisdom is greater than human effort, you find calmness. You recognize that while people contribute, the ultimate outcome is guided by a larger unlimited power beyond human limits. Even in relationships, this understanding is transformative. We often wish that our loved ones would always behave the way we imagine, always understand us, always prioritize us. But expecting perfection from them only leads to resentment and heartbreak. When you realize that people are limited, you stop demanding the impossible. You allow them to be human, flawed, and learning just like you. And when you combine this understanding with trust in God's unlimited power, you start to see that every gap, every mistake, and every limitation in others is part of a larger design you may not yet comprehend. Children provide a daily, simple example of this truth. Parents love, guide, and protect them to the best of their ability. Yet children will stumble, make mistakes, and sometimes fail to meet expectations. If parents demand perfection, they create frustration, guilt, and tension. But if they accept the limitations of their children while guiding them with love and patience, peace emerges, and they trust that the lessons, growth, and unfolding life path, shaped by wisdom greater than themselves, will guide their children toward the right future. Similarly, in our own lives, when we stop relying on people to be limitless, we stop placing impossible burdens on them and free ourselves from unnecessary pain. The realization that people are limited also transforms our self-expectations. We often demand from ourselves what others cannot give: constant perfection, unwavering strength, and flawless judgment. And when we fail ourselves, we feel ashamed, frustrated, and broken. But recognizing human limitation, not only in others, but in ourselves, frees us from harsh self-judgment. We become gentler with ourselves, acknowledging that we are doing our best, learning as we go, and moving forward under the guidance of an unlimited force greater than human constraints. This truth also cultivates gratitude. When you understand that people are limited, every act of kindness, support, or effort they offer becomes a gift, not an obligation. You stop expecting and start appreciating. You begin to notice the beauty of human effort rather than focusing on its imperfections. And at the same time, your faith in God's unlimited power gives you confidence that despite human limitations, life is unfolding perfectly for you. Even when someone fails to show up in the way you hoped, you realize that a higher wisdom is at work, arranging circumstances, lessons, and opportunities beyond your vision. Ultimately, embracing the idea that people are limited while God is unlimited shifts your entire perspective. It frees you from disappointment, resentment, and unnecessary struggle. It teaches patience, forgiveness, and understanding. It nurtures resilience, gratitude, and inner peace, and it helps you invest your energy wisely, not in controlling or expecting perfection from others, but in aligning yourself with a limitless source of guidance, wisdom, and love that can carry you through every challenge, delay, and uncertainty. Life becomes lighter when you release unrealistic expectations of human perfection and lean into the unlimited nature of God. You begin to understand that while people will falter, life itself, guided by infinite wisdom, will always provide what you need when you need it. And in that trust, you discover a freedom, a strength, and a peace that no disappointment, mistake, or limitation can ever take away. Detachment is often misunderstood. Many people hear the word and think it means turning cold, shutting down emotions, or withdrawing from life and love. But true detachment is nothing like that. Detachment is a conscious choice to free your heart from unnecessary dependency, to release the chains of expectation, and to reclaim your energy for what truly matters. It is a form of strength, that allows you to live fully, love deeply, and act wisely without being weighed down by constant emotional entanglement. Detachment does not make you distant from life, it makes you closer to your purpose, closer to clarity, and closer to inner peace. Think about your daily life. How often do you find yourself trapped by the emotional highs and lows caused by other raws? Perhaps you feel crushed when a friend doesn't text back, anxious when someone disagrees with you, or disappointed when someone doesn't acknowledge your effort. Every time you tie your happiness, confidence, or self-worth to someone else's actions, you hand over power that is rightfully yours. You create a subtle, invisible leash that binds your emotions to people who cannot possibly carry the weight of your expectations. Detachment is the moment you cut that leash, not to stop caring, not to become indifferent, but to reclaim your freedom and your strength. Consider a simple, everyday example. Social media. It is easy to fall into the trap of measuring your worth by likes, comments, or attention. When someone ignores your post, you feel hurt or undervalued. When someone else's success shines brightly, you feel envy or inadequacy.
These reactions are not because life is unfair. They are because your emotional state has been tied to someone else's actions or recognition.
Detachment is the ability to engage with life fully, enjoying connection, celebration, and acknowledgement without letting them control your inner peace. It is the freedom to care without clinging, to notice without needing, and to observe without judgment. Detachment is also powerful in relationships. Detachment is also powerful in relationships. Imagine depending on someone else entirely for your happiness, validation, or emotional stability. Every disagreement, every failure, every unmet expectation can shake your world. But when you practice healthy detachment, you allow people to be themselves, and you allow yourself to be whole, without depending on their behavior. You love without needing, you give without expecting, and you support without being consumed. This is not coldness, it is courage. It is strength. It is a deep understanding that you are responsible for your own emotions and that no one else has the power to destabilize your peace unless you allow it. Even in professional life, detachment is a hidden superpower. Consider a team project or a challenging client. People may act unpredictably, miscommunicate, or even fail to meet expectations. If your sense of accomplishment and emotional state are tied to their actions, stress and frustration accumulate quickly. Detachment allows you to focus on what you can control, your effort, your integrity, your response, while releasing anxiety over what is beyond your control. This mental clarity is not avoidance, it is strategy. It is the ability to move with wisdom and grace even when the external world is chaotic. Detachment also nurtures resilience. Life is full of unpredictable twists, losses, setbacks, rejections, and disappointments. Without detachment, these events can crush you, drain you, and make you feel powerless. But when you cultivate detachment, you are able to experience life fully, acknowledge the emotions that arise, and then release them without being consumed. You can grieve, reflect, and learn without letting the experience define your entire being. You remain engaged with life while remaining anchored in yourself. A state of balance that many people spend a lifetime searching for. Even in moments of personal ambition, detachment is crucial. Perhaps you are rocking tirelessly toward a goal, studying, practicing, creating, or building. If your peace depends on immediate recognition, success, or approval, every delay or rejection becomes a source of stress. But if you remain detached from the outcome while fully committed to the process, you maintain your energy, focus, and confidence. You act with passion, discipline, and determination, but you do not allow temporary setbacks to shake your identity or self-worth. You understand that results may vary, timing may differ, and the universe may have a plan beyond your immediate comprehension. Detachment also fosters gratitude and appreciation. When you stop clinging, every act of kindness, every moment of connection, every small victory becomes a gift rather than an expectation. You notice the beauty in the ordinary, the goodness in people despite their limitations, and the lessons in every challenge. Your heart opens to life with clarity and warmth because it is no longer burdened by invisible chains of dependency or unrealistic expectations. Finally, detachment strengthens your spiritual connection. When you release your need to control, to demand, and to cling, you create space for divine guidance. You begin to trust that life, orchestrated by God's wisdom, is unfolding perfectly, even when it does not align with your purpose script. Detachment is a recognition that the ultimate source of support, love, and strength is unlimited, not found in people, not found in external circumstances, but found in the divine presence that flows through all things. True detachment is not coldness, indifference, or withdrawal. It is strength,